Today we got the team and breakdown for you to take on 1-9 for 3 stars in Master Mode. Super excited about it here today. Thank you for joining in for today's guide. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Thank you for the likes and the subs. With that, if you happen to have a question or comment throughout today's episode, you let me know. I love to hear from you. Feel free to swing by the Discord server as well. Now, down below, we do have the timestamps where I will break down 1-9 Blooming Royal Jellyfield here in Master Mode Land of Little Big Dreams. Additionally, then, we'll give you the team. We'll do the run. We'll pull it all back together as we always do here on CookieRun Kingdom. Now, let's get moving forward with this guide. Thank you again for your support, and let's check out things here today. All right. So 1-9 Blooming Royal Jellyfield Master Mode. So a couple things with Master Mode here. First off, enemies max HP is increased. Enemies debuff resistance is increased. HP shield capacity is decreased. Healing is decreased. And summon creatures lose their lifetime support by 50%. And then here, special conditions, max cookie level is 55, skill level is 55, cookie grade is 1A, sugar gnome, laboratory, costume sets, guild relics, and guild level at X. So very important to understand here. Now, a couple of key pieces, as you can see, my average power is at 471. It is higher than this 323, which is nice. However, there are a couple of challenges with this particular wave of enemies and baddies that you'll run into. So first off, we got the golden jellyworm, we got the cream jellyworm, we got froggos, we got cake boomerang warriors, and then choco cake warriors. Now, before we talk about some of these waves, the biggest things to know is this guy can pick off a lot of your cookies, so making sure that you take these things down, and we'll talk about some of that strategy, can be very, very important for you. Now, every one of these main levels here in Master Mode Dark have kind of big mini bosses at the end. This one's mini boss is a giant froggo. This guy splits twice into more frogs. That is a big piece, and they hit very, very hard. So it can be a challenge to overcome. Survivability can be an issue with that too. When they all target, becomes a big challenge. Certainly you can get 1-2 stars, but getting 3 is the key here, which is why I put together this particular guide for you. Now, here is my team setup. I have Pure Vanilla, I got Vampire, I have Sherbet, I have Frost Queen, and then Schwarzwalder. So Schwarzwalder in the front, constantly kind of hitting the waves back, stunning our enemies. Huge, beefy tank up front. We got Frost Queen tied with Sherbet. Frost Queen's doing the whole wave, knocking the teams out. And then we got Sherbet for that additional pinprick damage and extra damage as the stuff stacks, making a huge deal on single targets or less targets. And then Vampire here too for fast nuking, fast damage. And then Pure Vanilla to keep things alive. So very, very important here. Kind of the strategy is to be able to survive through the waves and then do a load of damage fast, the giant froggo here, to take things down. It will split, like I said, hit those splits before you essentially lose Schwarzwalder. Losing your tank, trying to 2 tank can be tough, 2 heals can be tough. I found this to be the right mix. Now, one little trick, not really a cheat, but a trick here to keep in mind that I like is Sugar Swan Shining. This will revive your first fallen cookie with 64% of their max HP. Their skills cooldown resets upon revival. Big one being that most of the time, every time our tank dies, so that pulls this guy back, giving you enough to continue to fire down everything else and close out the run. So that's a couple tricks there for you. Increase attack, Old Pilgrim Scroll with increased attack, and then cool down there again to keep that high damage on, as well as cool down. Now, a couple of things that you can consider: instead of Old Pilgrim Scroll, you could go with the whistle if you wanted to, but we do have 3 attackers there, and that one's going to constrain you to 2. So that is the team. Let's go ahead and check out the toppings. Topping guides you guys can always check out on the channel. I do break down each of the cookies individually here. Schwarzwalder on 5 solid almonds. We have Sherbet on 5 raspberry. We got Frost Queen in this particular one on cooldown, so that you can continue to hit this off as many times as possible, not necessarily as focused on the damage. Certainly you can go the damage route if you want to. pure vanilla on cooldown, and then we do have our vampire on the 5 raspberry set as well. So wanted to show that for you. Again, more breakdowns here on the channel that you can check out just by looking through the channel settings, type in guide, their topping guide, and that will give you a host of those things or the cookies names. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and make our run. Now that we talked about Blooming Royal Jellyfield here, 1-9 master mode, gave you the lowdown, the breakdown, the team, and the treasures, and some of the tricks there again with our Sugar Swan Shining. All right, now again, this is also on auto run. A couple of key things here that you can keep in mind. Certainly you can click the buttons here while the cooldowns are coming in order to kind of make sure that those skills are getting used. We may use that on pure vanilla here. That one can get a little bit of tight in terms of what we see. So there again, you see those hits go right for Frost Queen. So that's where sometimes you can run into problems depending on what sets here in terms of our runs and the lineups that we get of our baddies. All right, so here's a big one here. Get the heals off. Now we're getting a lot of damage. Swartzweiler does a nice job of tanking at the front. The big piece, the other thing to remind yourself or be aware of, is that if you do push back a little bit too far on the last line, you will hit your big baddie there a little bit sooner, maybe than you're expecting. All right. Here we go. Big baddie's going to come. There's that big frog. We cleared the line. Now we need to be able to keep everything going so that we don't lose. There we go. Down to 2. There's the big hit on Swartzweiler. Keeping the damage up is going to be key. Making sure that that revive, there it goes. Now we're down to the 2. Get the 2 down, and then we're good to go. Boom. Voila. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful there for you. In our run for 1-9, knocking down the 3 stars. It is absolutely like dancing in the wind. Perfect. All right, the 1-9 team to get it done, the strategy to get it done so that you can 3-star master mode level here. So pulling this all back together, there we go. Nice and clear for you there on 1-9 Blooming Royal Jellyfield here today. Master mode, we broke down the team, we broke down the strategy for the level for you in terms of the run, how you need to think about your team in order to be successful for maintaining and 3-starring. We gave you the little trick with the revive. That's a huge one, and one that you can bring forward with you on other levels in terms of progression. All right, cookies, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support as always. Thank you for the likes and the subs. With that, other great things here on the channel and a lot more things coming your way. If you have a question or comment, do let me know. I love to hear from you. Always let me know what works. Let me know what you swapped. I love to hear that and hear your strategies as well. So with that, you take care. We'll see you again soon. Until next time, Mythras out of here.